I'm going to give you a breakdown of the Week 12 NFL matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles, and we're starting right now. What is going on? My name is Alpha Omega. Welcome to another video. Before I get into the betting guide for this Week 12 NFL matchup, you got to make sure and head over to my website and sign up for a sports pick package. In Week 11, I again had another excellent NFL Sunday, going 2-1 with my max unit plays, what I call my wise guy plays, with a no sweat winner on the Falcons and then a ridiculously sweaty winner on the Cardinals plus 10.5, which I mentioned because the Cardinals lost by 10 when the 49ers returned a fumble for a touchdown as time expired. I thought for sure that touchdown wouldn't hold up on replay, but I doubt the NFL even looked at it. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm going to go a little off script and rant on a couple things. So if you're not interested in hearing what I have to say, just skip ahead a couple minutes in the video. But that final play in the Cardinal 49er game exemplifies why shopping for the best line is so crucial if you want to be a winning bettor. As I said, I personally had a big position on that game, along with the plus 10.5 being one of my wise guy plays. And even at 5 a.m. on game day, you could find 10.5s all over Vegas and offshore. But by kickoff, the line had been bet down to 10, and I even saw some 9.5s, so half points do make a difference in this game. If you follow any sports betting personalities, you often hear, you have to bet the number, not the team. And that is absolutely true, and is one of the factors that separates long-term winners from losers in the sports betting game. By the way, no ego involved for me here, but I would place a big bet that a great deal of those sports betting personalities don't actually originate their own numbers and are just regurgitating talking points like bet the number, not the team, just so they sound intelligent and sharp. I mention this because frankly it annoys me, but also because as a sports bettor you need to be discerning in who you listen to and also who you decide to buy plays from. Prior to becoming involved in the sports betting world, I was in academia. I was working on my PhD and I actually dropped out to pursue sports betting full-time. And you might be surprised to hear that the competition in the academic world is insane and was kind of a culture shock for me when I first got started. Now, I've seen all kinds of questionable and downright unethical behavior in the academic world, but I have never seen anything like the scams that take place in the sports betting world. It's ridiculous. At some point, I might do a video on that, but most everyone already knows that there are scammers, and a lot of those people know because they've been scammed themselves. Now, my underlying point here is you need to be careful who you follow. Even if you don't ever buy a package from me, I don't want to see you get scammed out of money by people who talk the talk but don't walk the walk. All right, rant over. Going back to my NFL Sunday, along with going 2-1 with my wise guy plays, I also went 2-1 with my standard unit plays, with winners on the Saints Bucks over and a winner on the Ravens, a game that I went over in last week's video. I'm going to put a link in the video right up here, so you got to make sure and check that out because there is still a lot of useful information that can help you moving forward. Now, my goal in telling you about mine and my clients' winners is not to brag, but when you sign up with an actual professional bettor that makes his living from sports wagers, you can change your sports betting from being a long-term loser to a long-term winner. This week, I will again have at least 2 wise guy plays in action on NFL Sunday. So if you're a sports bettor and you want to get my plays for Week 12 and start winning money betting on sports, all you need to do is head over to my website and sign up for a wise guy play package. Now, this is the busiest time of year for professional bettors like myself, as the NFL, college football, the NBA, and college basketball are all in action at the same time, which means a lot of opportunity to make money. And I'm going to do my best to get more videos out to you in the coming months. Now, if you've been coming around to my channel for a while, you also know that this channel is closing in on 100 subscribers, kind of a big deal to me. And I'll make sure and do something special for everyone who is already subscribed and everyone who does subscribe. So make sure and click the links in the description and DM me on social media or send me an email with a screenshot showing that you've subscribed. Also, if this is your first time here and you want to learn how to bet on sports like a pro and gain an edge over the sports books, start now by subscribing to my YouTube channel and make sure to click the bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. After another profitable NFL Sunday in Week 11, there are multiple marquee matchups in Week 12, with the Seahawks and the Eagles being one of the most exciting, as Russell Wilson and the playoff-bound Seahawks travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles, who are reeling from the close loss to the Patriots. While the Eagles did not look good against New England, it's important to remember that the Patriot defense is statistically the best defense in the NFL, and that fact played a big part in the Eagles' loss. It should also be noted that the Patriots only scored 17 points against the Eagles defense. The Seahawks, on the other hand, are coming off a season-defining win against the previously unbeaten San Francisco 49ers, with Russell Wilson once again proving how great of a player he is, and Jadeveon Clowney playing his best game as a pro. After watching the Seahawks play the 49ers and the Eagles playing the Patriots, you might think that this is an easy bet on the Seahawks, but the Vegas sports betting marketplace expects quite a different outcome. The Alpha Omega Vegas consensus line had the Eagles opening being favored by 3 points, but that line has been consistently bet down all week to the current number of Eagles -1. The total has also been bet down from the opener of 49 to the current number at 48. Implied odds mean based on the current moneyline odds, what is the projected implied probability of victory? Basically, it's the chances of victory expressed as a percentage. In this case, Vegas is saying the Eagles have a 52% probability of winning the game outright, with the Seahawks having a 44% chance of pulling off the upset. Using my base power rankings, I have the Seahawks favored by a point, with a total of 50. But remember, my base power rankings are only a starting point for your handicap and are not the final numbers I use to make my bets. The Philadelphia Eagles offense has not been the same unit we have seen in years past, and a great deal of the Eagles' offensive struggles can be attributed to the seemingly never-ending injuries that the Eagles have sustained throughout the season. The laundry list of injuries and key starters is astounding, beginning with tackle Lane Johnson. Johnson was placed in the NFL's concussion protocol against New England, and the Eagles' offensive line suffered greatly against the Patriots because of it. Carson Wentz was under constant pressure after Johnson went down, and while the Eagles' offensive tackle has not yet been ruled out of the game against the Seahawks, this will be an important injury to monitor, because if Johnson is unable to play, rookie Andre Dillard is expected to start in his place, facing off against Jadeveon Clowney, who, as I mentioned, is coming off a career game against the 49ers. The main issue that has hampered the Eagles' offense this season has been the wide receiving core, both due to injuries and poor play. Beginning with the injuries, Deshaun Jackson has been placed on IR and will not play again during the regular season, and is also questionable to play even if the Eagles make the playoffs. While Jackson has been injured for the majority of the season, Alshon Jeffrey did not play against the Patriots due to a hamstring issue, and even if Jeffrey is able to suit up, an ankle injury often lingers and he will not be at 100%. With these two important playmakers out, and tight end Zach Ertz being constantly double covered because of it, the bulk of the receiving load has fallen on Nelson Agholor, and frankly, Agholor just hasn't played well so far this season, being plagued by constant drop passes and at times a lack of separation from defenders. This is a big reason why opposing defenses have had the luxury of putting an extra defender on Ertz. The Eagles' running game has not been the strength of the offense, but the Philadelphia running game is what opens up the rest of the offense, and when Philadelphia is able to generate yards on the ground, the offense finds success, and this fact is one of the reasons why the Eagles are favored in this game. Carson Wentz has been inconsistent, capable of making MVP caliber throws and decisions, but also prone to forcing the football rather than letting plays develop. However, I put a majority of the cause of Wentz's play to the issues with the offensive line and wide receiving core. The keys for the Eagles' offense will be protecting Carson Wentz and giving him time to throw the football, the Eagles' running game gaining yards on the ground to force the Seahawks defense to honor the run, and the Eagles' wide receivers creating separation from the Seahawks defenders and holding onto the football. If the Eagles' offense accomplishes their team goals, Philadelphia will cover the spread and win the game. As I already mentioned, the Seahawks defense was able to hold off the previously unbeaten 49ers and pull out an amazing victory under pressure. However, even taking into account the Seahawks victory against the 49ers, the Seahawks defense is the weakest part of the Seattle team, ranking 22nd in overall defense. The trouble for the Seahawks begins with Seattle's inability to stop the run, with opposing offenses generating 4.5 yards per carry, which places Seattle as one of the worst defenses in the NFL against the run, ranking 22nd overall. Considering the Eagles' less than stellar running game, on the surface this may seem like an advantage for the Seahawks, but as I already mentioned, if the Eagles are able to run the ball efficiently, that opens up the rest of the field for Philadelphia's offense. And considering the recent acquisition of Jay Ajayi, I expect Philadelphia to take advantage of Ajayi's power running style to punish the Seattle defense. With the Eagles' running game having a potential advantage against Seattle, and the Philadelphia offense using the run to open up the pass, Seattle will be forced into a situation where it will be necessary to slow down the Eagles' passing attack. That may prove difficult as Seattle's passing defense also ranks toward the bottom of the league, and if Alshon Jeffrey is able to return from injury, even if not at 100%, Seattle will not be able to put two defenders on Zach Ertz. Where the Seahawks may be able to counter is by rushing the quarterback, putting Wentz under pressure and forcing the Eagles quarterback into making hurried throws. After Jadeveon Clowney's amazing performance against the 49ers and the Eagles' lack of offensive line depth, Seattle may be able to generate the necessary pressure to hurry Wentz. The Seahawks will need to take advantage of these hurried throws and convert the mistakes into turnovers. The keys for the Seattle defense will be putting pressure on Wentz, forcing the quarterback into making hurried throws, preventing the Eagles receivers, specifically Zach Ertz, from consistently beating coverage, and containing the Eagles running game, which will force Philadelphia into becoming over-reliant on the pass, giving the Seahawks the opportunity to generate turnovers. If the Seahawks defense accomplishes their team goals, Seattle will cover the spread and win the game. Before I continue with the betting guide, if you are enjoying the video and if you feel like you're getting good information that can help you gain an edge over the sportsbooks and make smarter sports wagers, make sure and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with the latest sports betting content from me, professional sports handicapper Alpha Omega. Also, make sure and click the link in the description of the video, check out my website, and sign up for a sports betting package. I literally break down sports information and make my living based on that information every day. I take all of the sports data I can find, I factor all of that data into mathematical betting models to make my picks, and I send you the same picks that I bet on myself. I have packages for every level of sports bettor, from a beginner who is just coming into the sports betting world to the expert bettor who just needs that extra edge to take them to the next level. Make the smart decision and sign up with a professional today. Early in the season, the Eagles' defense had similar issues to the Eagles' offense, being hampered by injuries. In this case to the Philadelphia secondary. However, in Week 11 against the Patriots, the Eagles' defensive backfield was finally healthy, with all three starting cornerbacks being available for defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, and the health of the Eagles' secondary showed up in the stat line, holding New England to just 216 passing yards and 74 rushing yards, including holding the Pats a full touchdown under their normal scoring output. While the Patriots' offense is not as strong as in years past, New England is still a potential Super Bowl team, and although the Eagles lost the game, the only touchdown the Patriots scored was on a trick play from Edelman to Dorsett. The health of the Eagles defense allowed Schwartz to play more of a man-to-man scheme. The skill of the now healthy Eagles secondary also allows Philadelphia to increase the number of blitzes called during the game. Considering that the Seahawks offensive line ranks 20th in allowed quarterback pressure and the increased efficiency in the Eagles secondary, that allows for a greater number of blitzes, and this is another reason for the Eagles being favored in this game. The major caveat to the potential blitz-heavy packages the Eagles will throw at the Seahawks is that the Seahawks are a top 10 rushing team, unlike the Patriots, and the Seahawks also have Russell Wilson, one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, and considering the man-to-man coverage played by the Eagles, this may not bode well considering Wilson's propensity to tuck it and run when the field is open for it. The keys for the Eagles defense will be disguising blitz packages to keep consistent pressure on Russell Wilson, not allowing the Seahawks running game, including Russell Wilson, to pick up big yardage, and the Eagles secondary playing tough against the physical Seattle wide receivers and not getting beat deep. If the Eagles defense accomplishes their team goals, Philadelphia will cover the spread and win the game. While Lamar Jackson has overtaken Russell Wilson as the betting favorite to win the NFL MVP award, the odds are extremely close, and barring injury to either quarterback, the NFL MVP race will stay close for the remainder of the season. As I mentioned in my Seahawks 49er betting guide, the Seahawks offense begins and ends with the play of Russell Wilson, with the weaknesses in the Seattle defense forcing Wilson to play hero ball all season, with Russell rising to the occasion and winning games for the Seahawks over and over again in clutch time. Regardless of the health of the Eagles defense, the best that Philadelphia can hope for against the Seahawks is to slow down Russell Wilson, as there isn't a defense in the NFL that can stop him. While I won't speak further on Wilson's incredible play this season, there is a reason that the spread has been bet in the Seahawks' favor, and part of that is the public bettors and certainly some sharp bettors' faith in Russell Wilson's abilities. Moving on to the wide receiving core in the Seahawks contest against the 49ers, Tyler Lockett suffered a bruised shin that caused severe swelling, to the point where Lockett was forced to spend 2 nights in the hospital. However, considering that Lockett's injury occurred in the game leading into Seattle's bye week, the timing was excellent, and Lockett is expected to play against the Eagles. Another important factor for the Seahawks is tight end Jacob Hollister. The tight end has emerged as a crucial part of the Seahawks offense, which has been important for Seattle considering the injuries suffered to starter Will Dissly and recent acquisition Luke Wilson. After the injury to Dissly against the Browns, Hollister has caught 3 touchdowns, including a game winner in overtime against the Buccaneers and a spectacular one-hander against the 49ers. Along with returning Tyler Lockett and the physical DK Metcalf, Hollister's presence on the field will make the Eagles defense have to work on every play, and if the Eagle defense blows coverage or makes a mistake, the Seattle receivers and Russell Wilson will take advantage. The Seahawks passing game has been opened up by the Seattle running game, which, as I already mentioned, ranks 6th overall. Running back Chris Carson continues to produce at an elite level for the Seahawks and forces opposing defenses to honor the run and scheme against Carson, which in turn opens up the passing game. The nagging issue all season for Carson is holding onto the football, with a total of 6 fumbles, including 2 in Week 9 against the Buccaneers and another against the 49ers. The fumbling issue must be addressed by the Seattle training staff. At some point, these turnovers will cost the Seahawks. The keys for the Seahawks offense will be Russell Wilson continuing to play at an MVP level, the Seattle receivers creating separation and making big plays, and the Seahawks offense holding onto the football and limiting turnovers. If the Seahawks offense accomplishes their team goals, Seattle will cover the spread and win the game. The margin of victory in this game will be determined by Eagles wide receivers getting open and coming up with catches in crunch time, the Seattle defense forcing Carson Wentz into making hurried throws and turning those hurried throws into turnovers, the Eagles defense containing the Seahawks running game, including Russell Wilson, and the Seahawks receivers finding ways to get open consistently and holding onto the football. Whichever team accomplishes their team goals will cover the spread and win the game.
Okay guys, that's the video. Let me know what you think. If you feel like you're gaining information that will help you in your sports betting, or if you have questions, make sure and let me know in the comments. And remember, this channel is closing in on 100 subscribers, and everyone who has already subscribed and everyone who does subscribe, make sure and click the links in the description and DM me on social media or send me an email with a screenshot showing that you've subscribed. And when the channel hits 100 subscribers, I'm going to make sure and do something special for all of you. Also, in week 11, I had another profitable NFL Sunday, including going 2-1 with my max unit wise guy plays and 2-1 with my standard unit plays for a total of plus 32 units. Then in Thursday night football, Texans Colts, I hit another wise guy play on the Colts plus 3.5. As I continue to harp on, the later we get into the season, the more information I have to make my predictions, which means the more Wise Guy plays I'm able to send out. In week 12, I will again be sending out at least 2 Wise Guy plays to clients. So if you want to find out what picks I'm betting on and what my Wise Guy plays are for week 12, make sure and head over to my website and sign up for one of my sports packages. And remember, I have sports packages for every type of sports bettor. Whether you're an everyday bettor who wants that extra edge to help you cash more winners, or you're just getting into sports betting and you want to find out how to make money betting on sports, make sure to click the link in the description of the video, head over to my website and sign up for a package now. And if you want to stay updated with all the latest sports betting guides across all major sports, start now by hitting the round subscribe icon so you don't miss anything. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.